Hey guys, it's Tim and this is PWU Daily for March 26th, 2019. This is our new daily news show where we bring you a bunch of news in one condensed video. In this video, if you're unfamiliar, since it's basically a brand new series as of this week, I run down a number of topics and then give you my thoughts on some bigger topics in pro wrestling. The show will come to you right here on the Pro Wrestling Unlimited YouTube channel every weekday, Monday through Friday at roughly 11 a.m. Pacific time. Now, as I stated in yesterday's episode, this show is going to evolve over time. Eventually, I want to add more to the show, more different segments, maybe some fan interactive kind of things where you guys can send in some questions to get answered. And I want to hear feedback from you guys. I want to hear what you guys like. I want to hear what you guys don't like, what you think I should add, what you think I should take away from the show. And over time, the show will grow and evolve into something that is something I like and something that you guys like as well. So again, I need your guys' feedback on this show as we continue to go and grow and evolve. Now with that, I want to shout out this week's sponsor, Insight Editions. Insight Editions is the maker of both the new WWE official cookbook and the WWE Pop Quiz Trivia Deck. In the WWE's new official cookbook, you've got a lot of different recipes in there, like Bailey's Chicken Nuggets, Kevin Cauliflower Nash, and some Ric Flair Whoopie Pies as well. Also, you can get the WWE Pop Quiz Trivia Deck. It's like 195 different questions where you can take it on the go and use it to stump some of your friends. And we may even use it on our live stream, I think either this week or next, where you guys will have the opportunity to win some prizes. With that, now it's time to run down some of the bigger stories we learned yesterday. So yesterday, probably the biggest story to come out of yesterday has to be that the Raw Women's Championship match, the Raw Women's Championship match will officially be the main event of WrestleMania 37 on April 7th. WrestleMania does come to us from a MetLife Stadium, and I think we've got 13 matches official. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 matches official with the matches announced last night. Also taking place on WrestleMania weekend, it's a WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Now we heard this news back in like January, but it was finally official yesterday. The original Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, and his brother-in-law, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, will be going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Last night on Monday Night Raw, we did see Kurt Angle take on Samoa Joe. Tonight on Smackdown, Kurt Angle will be taking on AJ Styles, and it was announced that next week, his final match on Raw will actually be against none other than the Master of the 619, Rey Mysterio. So, I think the match should be good, but I thought the Joe match would be better than it was last night. I think Kurt's just done, ready to retire, and all things considered, he should just hang it up. WrestleMania can't come sooner for the guy. We did learn from a report from Pro Wrestling Sheet last night that WWE has officially offered Becky Lynch a new multi-year contract. Now, we don't know exactly how many years this multi-year contract is for, but if we look at contracts that have been offered and signed in the last year, it's anywhere from 3 to 5 years. The normal WWE contract is a 3-year deal, but we did see last year Kevin Owens and I think maybe even The Miz both signed new 5-year contracts. Now, some interesting news came out from Lucha Central last night that 4 wrestlers who actually filed a lawsuit against Lucha Underground have been granted their immediate release. According to the report from Lucha Central, Fantasma, I'm probably going to butcher this name, but El Hijo de Fantasma, Joey Ryan, Eva Lise, and Cobra Moon have all been granted their release as their lawsuit was settled outside of court. Now, Tejano Jr. was actually involved in this lawsuit as well, but he's not getting his release because he pulled out of the lawsuit a couple of weeks back, I think it was. Also, you can't call Mustafa Ali anymore. his name got shortened by the WWE. Mustafa got the axe. Now he's just simply Ali. I don't know why the WWE does this. They've done this with a number of guys like Antonio Cesaro, Adrian Neville, Alexander Rusev, most notably Andrade Cien Almas, and now Mustafa Ali's the latest superstar to get his first or last name axed off. So those are some of the bigger stories from yesterday of March 25th, 2019. If you want to know more on any of those news stories, you can either check out our YouTube channel here or you can head over to pwunlimited.net. Now, as we talk about all that, today's big topics, we've got 5 topics on the docket for you. But before that, I'll talk a tiny little bit about our friends over at What Wrestling, because wrestling has a tomorrow. This past weekend, What Wrestling held a successful What 9 event, and then they announced What 10. What 10 will be taking place on May 26th from Providence, Rhode Island, with tickets available now. It has been confirmed that Teddy Hart will be partaking on the show. He will be competing on this show. Also announced for What 10, the newly crowned first ever What champion Dan Maff will be defending his title against the face of tomorrow, KC Navarro. So with that, more information can be found in the link in the description below. So go check them out. And if you are in the Providence, Rhode Island area, you want to see some good wrestling, some good independent pro wrestling, head over to the What Show. I heard What 9 was a very, very fun show, and we're working on possibly doing another What Wrestling live stream here on the Pro Wrestling Unlimited YouTube channel in the coming weeks. Now, as far as the big stories, we told you we got 5. And the first one's about Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, as it talks about Ronda. This comes from Ronda Rousey's actual personal website. Ronda talked about how she found out about her main event match at WrestleMania being the main event, and an April Fool's joke she wanted to play on Monday Night Raw next week. So Ronda Rousey stated the following on her website. I found out from Paul Heyman, and the reason I found out is I sent him this long text basically saying, hey Paul, let's do a April Fool's Day joke on April Fool's on Raw, saying that I'm pregnant and that the women are no longer the main event in WrestleMania because I'm out. Then, at the end of the show, we can say, April Fools. Then he called me. He called me back immediately. And he said, yeah, great idea and all, but they're going to announce to all major outlets and everything that the women are actually going to main event this Monday. So we can't do your April Fool's Day joke. They're making that official. I was like, oh shoot. So yeah, Paul Heyman told me in the short version of the answer, but he told me to explain why I couldn't do my April Fool's Day joke and tell everyone I'm pregnant. So Ronda Rousey wanted to do an April Fool's joke on Monday Night Raw, stating that she thought she was pregnant and that she couldn't compete at WrestleMania, get everybody all up in arms in a tizzy, and at the end of the show come out and go, psych, April Fools. So let me think. I don't know if WWE's ever done I could be wrong, correct me in the comments below, if the WWE's ever tried to pull an quote unquote April Fool's Day joke on either Raw or SmackDown on television. I don't recall them ever doing that, but Ronda wanting to do this, why am I not surprised? It says all the what's it called? The signs of the Ronda Rousey dry humor that we all know about. This is not something that I was very shocked about when I read it yesterday. It's just Ronda Rousey. She likes to do things a little differently, off the cuff. And, this really would have pissed off a lot of fans, because if she would have, let's fantasy book this, that's never going to happen. If she would have came out at the beginning of Raw and just came out and not had her mean Ronda face on, she would have just came out and been like, I have to make an announcement, and unfortunately, I can't compete at WrestleMania because I'm with child. Crowd and everybody watching would be like, wait, what? And then they would have waited and waited the 3 hours for Raw, and then what, she would have came out the last second of the show and go, April Fools, I'm not pregnant. The match is still happening this Sunday. I don't know about that one. So I'm glad that Heyman put the kibosh on it and that they couldn't do that, because it may have rubbed some fans the wrong way. So in my opinion, I am happy that they did not do that angle or that storyline or that quote-unquote April Fool's joke. Next up, we'll talk about Survivor Series, as Survivor Series matches, or at least one match, has already been advertised locally. So it was announced a while back that WWE will hold the 2019 Survivor Series event in Chicago. While they were in Chicago last week for Monday Night Raw, they actually, to the live crowd, announced everything taking place that weekend. SmackDown on Friday, NXT TakeOver War Games on Saturday, Survivor Series on a Sunday, and Monday Night Raw on Monday. Excuse me. With that, during last night's Monday Night Raw, they did some local advertising for Survivor Series because tickets go on sale this weekend, and they actually advertised a match that's probably not going to take place. Let's check it out right here. So this was shown during Raw last night, or during a commercial. This tweet does come from Luke Mirza. I think that's how you say it. Luke Mirza, something like that. Apologize for butchering your name. But it shows the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series of men's match, Raw versus SmackDown. For the Raw side of things, we've got Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, and Braun Strowman. On the SmackDown side of things, we've got Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe. Now, in all honesty, it's a pretty stacked match, but I don't see it happening for a number of reasons. A, I think maybe one or two of these guys can move brands in the Superstar Shakeup, or at least going forward leading into the move to SmackDown on Fox. And you never know if any of these men are going to get hurt. You don't know if, I don't know, for instance, we go into the summer months and Samoa Joe tears out his knee, needs to have knee surgery, he's out, ain't going to make it to Survivor Series. Bobby Lashley throws out his shoulder, has to go out for a couple. We don't know. Guys can get hurt at any time. So it's just odd that they're advertising matches 7 months out. Like, this is not even taking place for 7 more months. So I thought this was very, very interesting that they have a match advertised. And remember, card is always subject to change. And I think this is going to change. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below on what you think of this advertised match for Survivor Series that's, in my opinion, probably not the match that's going to happen. Excuse me. So, talking about advertised matches and matches that are going to happen, WrestleMania. Last night on Monday Night Raw, we learned of 3 new matches for WrestleMania 35 on April 7th in Orlando. No, not Orlando, in New York, or should I say New Jersey. Don't want to get a certain XM Sirius satellite radio host mad at me for calling it New York. The last night on Monday Night Raw, we did learn that the Intercontinental Championship will be on the line when Bobby Lashley defends against Finn Balor. Finn Balor actually defeated Bobby Lashley and Jinder Mahal in a handicap match last night to earn this opportunity. It was supposed to be Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, but Lio Rush did the whole, I'm injured, your buddy Braun hurt me in our match last night, so I got a replacement. So Finn moving on to Mania to defend the title, and keep this in mind, advertising for WrestleMania showed Finn as the Demon. So could the Demon appear at WrestleMania to win the championship? I think it was Bobby Lashley that actually either tweeted or stated in a WWE YouTube video that he's going to, quote-unquote, beat the Demon out of Balor. Also, we learned last night on Raw that Drew McIntyre will go one-on-one with Roman Reigns. Last week on Monday Night Raw, Drew McIntyre made the challenge to Roman Reigns, stating that he beat Roman Reigns up a couple weeks ago and wanted to continue beating him up at WrestleMania. Kind of the same thing Shane McMahon said about his match with The Miz. Well, Roman Reigns came out last night on Raw, made the match official, and then got beat up again by Drew McIntyre. And we did officially learn that the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line when Bayley and Sasha Banks do defend their titles against Nia Jax and Tamina, the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and Beth Phoenix and Natalya. With those new matches, it does, I think, take the total matches for WrestleMania up to, let me count it, I got it right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 matches. So we got 12 matches so far announced for WrestleMania. I could see maybe even 4 more getting announced because, speaking of WrestleMania, that leads us into our next story. A very anticipated match was actually accidentally leaked last night. So you may have seen this on social media, but advertising for WrestleMania on Instagram, let me pull up the image, actually showed this. It showed a graphic, WWE sponsored post, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston with a WWE Championship on the line. Now, if you're following storyline, Kofi lost last week to Daniel Bryan at the end of the gauntlet match and is not supposed to be going to WrestleMania. Is not supposed to get an opportunity for the WWE Championship. But that's storyline. Last night during Raw, this advertising came out and we now know official 100% Daniel, Kofi, Mania. I mean, everybody expected it. Now the question is this match announced tonight on SmackDown or next week on SmackDown? I assume since the advertising got out, no matter what their plans were, they got to announce it tonight now, since this did accidentally come out last night. And then that's the other question. Who's to blame here? Do we blame Instagram? Or do we blame the WWE? Did Instagram prematurely put out this advertisement? Or did WWE accidentally tell them to put it out last night? That's the big question that really doesn't matter who's at fault here. So we'll see what happens tonight on SmackDown. But talking about tonight's SmackDown, we do know of 2 matches official for tonight's show. So tonight's SmackDown Live does come to us from the Mohegan Sun Casino, and we do know that there will be a big fatal 4-way match where the winner will move on to WrestleMania to challenge Naomi for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. No, I digress. Challenge Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. We have Naomi, Carmella, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville in this fatal 4-way match. And I think if you want to just put on the best match possible, you do Asuka versus Naomi, because that could be a very good athletic competition, match, whatever you want to call it. Also, we will see Kurt Angle wrestle tonight for the first time on SmackDown in a long time, like maybe almost a decade, as Kurt Angle takes on one of his old TNA foes, AJ Styles. We do know these 2 matches for tonight's SmackDown, plus WWE is also advertising, quote-unquote, what's next for Kofi Kingston and the New Day on their, quote-unquote, road to WrestleMania. So with that, I want to wrap up this edition of PWU Unlimited Daily for March 26th, 2019. I want to say thank you to everybody who watched this video, who supports us right here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited's YouTube channel or our website. And I also want to give a thanks to our sponsor, Inside Editions, from whom you can pick up either the WWE official cookbook or the WWE Pop Quiz Trivia Deck. Links in the description below to both of them. And don't forget, we will be live tonight following SmackDown Live at roughly 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Make sure to hit that notification bell right here on YouTube to get notified every time we go live or post new videos. Follow us on Twitter at PWU Unlimited. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. And keep it locked right here for tomorrow's episode of PWU Daily. Every weekday, Monday through Friday at roughly 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Have a great day, guys.